Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Wildlife Photo Chat Video Edition. Yeah, so I've had this idea, not for that long, actually. I was going to say I had this idea for a long time.
For a very long time.
Yeah, but I've been trying to come up with and talking to you about a way to share a photo, talk a little bit more about it, kind of break it down. And I've been doing some of that on the Story of the Shot series, but not quite as much just breaking down the photo. That's a little bit more of how the photo was captured. And that may be included in here as well. But the whole premise of this show is I'm going to start the first episode picking one of my photos that you see right here. And then Emilie on the next episode is going to pick one of her photos, and then we'll talk about that and back and forth. And maybe down the road, you'll see some other photographers show up as well. So starting with this photo, let's give you a shot of just the image by itself there without us. And take it in, folks. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to break it down. So I think it makes sense for you to start with your thoughts on the shot and what you like, what you don't like. You know, I guess let's start every episode with what you like.
Person. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
But you'll start. Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and do that.
It's all you.
Okay. Okay, so I love the dramatic atmosphere to the image from fog.
Yeah.
And the light and the juxtaposition kind of the blue in the upper left-hand corner versus like the fog coming down on the other side. I love the placement of the puffin. Nice, leads you into the whole rest of the scene there. Nice. Yeah, love that. Also love the foreground elements of some plants.
Oh, like these guys right here?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff? Okay.
Yeah, just like some out of focus, stuff to look at.
Yeah, I don't even know what lens I shot this with, actually. We'll have to bring it up in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously just like the fact that you can see the puffin in its whole scene and where he hangs out and the kind of magnificence of the cliffs. I imagine you were kind of off the edge of the cliff almost shooting this.
Yep, pretty much.
Which you can kind of get that sense of just kind of being on the edge. So I love that. And yeah, just like also the feeling of being very high, like being able to see the cliff and also seeing down below to the waters and everything.
Nice.
Yeah, is that a good?
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, definitely. And this is, unfortunately, was one of the mornings you weren't out there.
Yeah.
I think you missed this morning.
Cold or something.
Cold, tired. Yeah.
Something
Yeah, because you've been doing a ton of traveling.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was out there by myself on this one, and I really wanted to show that location, you know, the place where they are. And the goal with this one and the challenge with this one was to get him up in that sky a little bit. Because when you first crawl out to these spots, a lot of them are actually kind of like this, where this is the level you're up on, you know?
Right.
So when I'm sitting up on that grass there and holding the camera up to my eye, I'm just shooting down. He's like against all the grass there, you know, because I'm shooting down on him a little bit just because I think it was like elevated a little bit where I was. And obviously this is the kind of edge that you're laying on there. So you can't just pick where you want to go, you know, but with, I'm pretty sure this was, let's see. I'm pretty sure it was Z9. Let's see.
Oh, 24 to 120.
Z9. And yeah, sorry. So there we go. 24 to 120 with this one. And yeah, excuse me. There are the settings right there. So definitely using the flip screen on that and then just literally holding it out over the cliff and just kind of getting that much lower perspective was the intention there, because I think I started some of the shots higher. So
with the green in the background.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, I remember looking through the viewfinder and saying, he doesn't stand out enough. You know, like, yeah, he's there, he's black and white, I can make him pop, but like his shape, I think gets lost when it's all just in this kind of stuff, you know?
Sure, yeah.
Because there's less separation there, it doesn't fall out of focus and stuff like that. And you know, this is an interesting thing. These are the kind of shots where if I had a faster lens, like let's say I had a 2.8 lens or a really fast prime, this is a 24, so you can get a 24 f1.4.
Okay.
I think I'd be tempted to shoot it lower aperture, but I think f4 is a really good call on this one.
Yeah, I mean, you can see some of the, you know, detail of the environment.
Yeah, I mean, it's falling out of focus back here. We can definitely tell that. Yeah. But it's detailed enough that we're not losing, it's not all blurring, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
You might lose some of the image, like the feel to the place.
I think so. And I think it would work really shallow depth of field, but I think this shows off the place better, you know? It really does. And the lighting was like insane that morning.
Yeah.
It was just a little bit of fog hanging. The sun was just starting to kind of push through with that, which was really, really nice. Yeah, and so one of the things I don't like, if I could improve it, is I would have gotten lower. You know, if I could have gotten lower, I would have loved to have had like not this sort of line cutting right through the middle of his breast there and maybe like down into here or even under, you know.
You think that would make a big difference in the overall?
No, I don't think it would make a big difference, but it would just make his silhouette even cleaner, you know? Like if he was maybe just like, if there was like a little pointy rock that he was up on or elevated, like something to get him up so that I wouldn't even have to get lower, I think would work nicely. And I can just imagine like the bottom of him looking like it's resting right along this edge, even though he's not. You know what I mean? But it would just like seamlessly kind of flow into that. And then, you know, you follow that line over and, you know.
Yeah. I think it does work very well as just like a cohesive image though. For
no, it still works. And I'm still very happy with the image. It's just, you know, always thinking about what else could I do to improve. That would be kind of like the main thing because everything else works. Oh, and I think that was also part of it. Well, I can't recall totally, but you know, if you go much lower with your perspective, you start hiding some of these other cliffs back here with this one, and that wouldn't totally be ideal. Not the end of the world, but I do like the layering that we get here. And I do love the lines, you know, like the brightest area is kind of over here, but all of like that points down to here and then this slopes up to here. And even these rocks are like these dark lines are kind of angling and pointing in, this vegetation pointing in, this line pointing in, this curve pointing, like it all feels like it's sort of like flowing towards him or
just
flowing
also
out from
like
him.
Looking out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you focus on him and then look at the rest of the scene.
Yeah, but it definitely... Like the lines in the image are definitely doing that. And that's something that I don't think I was thinking about that so much in the moment, you know. It was more of just, I very much remember trying to get him up in the sky as much as possible. And I know, just like you said, I was hanging off that cliff as much as possible.
I could just imagine.
Camera as low as possible, just trying to get that perspective that I was after without, you know, tumbling off the cliff.
I'm glad you didn't tumble off the cliff.
Exactly.
Should we take a look at your edit?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think with the edit, before I kind of go, well, here, we can go. So this is the final Photoshop edit. There's just what I did at Lightroom. And if we go into develop here, I should be able to show just what I did. So they're straight out of camera. Just like that.
Yeah.
So it still had that built-in lighting.
That still feel of the blue to the white.
Exactly.
And mist and everything.
Blue to warm, brighter over here, pulling in that way. I did exaggerate
and a
all
little
of
bit
that.
of the, maybe a mask on the puffin or.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, definitely. Yeah, I pumped him up a little bit to get him to stand out. Made, I did get maybe a little bit more blue there. And then definitely like leaned into the warm over here on that side. You know, because you can, well, I guess not much. It's just like a little soft thing there. And it's so funny. I think we just saw some this morning, some edits online of people going exaggerating with these gradients and basically creating lighting in a shot. And here, I'm just going to take a moment to do, a little bit of a rant. No.
I thought you were going to like do that too.
No. I just think, for me, this is totally my choice and preference. I don't like to make up new lighting. I'm okay with dodging and burning areas, but I love just kind of leaning into the lighting that was there. And part of that is just trying to be authentic with the scene that was there. And just, there really is no right or wrong with that, right? It's just personal choice and what is acceptable to you as a photographer.
Sure.
But I just generally, I prefer it when you're just enhancing what's already there. And for me, I like the challenge of trying to find really amazing lighting out in the field. That's part of the fun with it. And so when you can just make it in post, you know, like this graduated thing, like I see it so much. It's like big radial in the top corner, linear gradient darkening the opposite corner, and then you're just creating this what you're seeing kind of
pretty much.
Yeah, what you're seeing in this shot, right?
Right.
But as you can see, you know, when I actually reset this one, like
it was already
straight out of camera, right? It's already there. So I'm just leaning into what's there.
Yeah, I think when you're shooting at kind of those dawn dusk hours, it gives so much more opportunity for interesting light and things
Yeah,
to
and you
happen.
have more direction to things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like you don't have to edit as much. I
I
mean,
agree.
like I feel like I edit less and less.
Yeah. Yeah, you
It's
definitely
also
have.
Maybe just me.
No,
being-
I think you
I don't
have
know
over
why,
time.
but no, like when I was first learning, I was kind of taught that, like, you know,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Try to make a little direction to it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and that was, I don't know, 5 years ago or something.
Yeah. And I think when it's there and you enhance it, I think that totally makes sense. It's totally fine. But for
Yeah.
me, I guess I personally feel a lot of the times when I see it, it's being used as a crutch to hide bad lighting to begin
Right.
with.
I think when a lot of times when we see it on social media and these like tutorial type things.
Yeah, it's like, well, the
It's like
original
this-
photo is not that good.
Right.
And
And
now
so
you're
it's like
just
you're
trying to
trying to-
polish it.
Right. Right.
know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, listen, whatever. You certainly can. But,
Yeah. It's everybody's choice,
yeah,
preference
exactly.
of editing styles.
I did go with a little bit more of a panoramic crop here. So I'll show the original
okay.
crop here and you can see why.
Definitely
right?
love the pano
Yeah,
style.
you know?
Yeah.
So I had him higher in the frame
Yeah.
to start out with because I was really trying to show more of the rocks and everything down here. But then in post, I realized like this is just
Very distracting.
just grabbing attention like crazy.
Sure.
So I think, I don't know if, yeah, I cropped it out.
You just cropped
Yep,
it out.
cropped it
Yeah.
out.
It's
And-
such a more like,
I mean, gosh, like look at that,
pleasing
right?
scene.
This is so in your face
Yeah.
there. And I think I feel like if my eye was in the viewfinder, I would have seen that and noticed it.
and then like.
But when you're
shift it
using the
up.
flip screen,
But then you had to stay low, so.
yeah, I don't know that I would have done anything different. Maybe I would have cropped it out. It would have just given me a ton more sky, which
Right.
was plain and boring, so
Right.
it wouldn't have added anything.
Right.
I might have ended up in the same place anyway
Right.
of a crop like this. But
Yeah.
I think I feel like I would have noticed that because that to me is just so in your face.
Yeah.
This
But yes, like you
big, bright
said,
area.
shooting off the cliff and having it just kind of
Off
like
the cliff,
guess.
bouncing, just
yeah.
trying to make sure I had him in the frame. Like all I was
Sure.
watching was him.
Yeah,
and
making
making
sure
sure
he was
that
in
the
the
box
frame.
was still eye tracking and not jumping to something else.
Yeah.
And then just generally like let's put him up in the left
sure
so I
he's,
have
you know,
space down there.
space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking as I was like holding on with one hand before I took. Not kidding. But you know, a big difference there, I would say, you know, between
Yeah.
that straight out of camera original crop there.
Yeah, I feel like the crop is the most
biggest change.
powerful
Yeah.
change.
Yep.
You know, and then the rest is just kind of like enhancements to what was already there.
For the longest time, I barely did anything with off aspect ratio cropping. So I always would stick 2 to 3, almost all, like exclusively,
Interesting.
you know?
Yeah.
Much more lately, I've been going more panoramic and just letting it be kind of freeform crop. Like I
Yeah.
don't think I even picked an aspect ratio on this. If we look at the crop here, yeah, it's just total
just, custom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I just unlocked it and went to where I did.
Sure.
And it's funny, look, in the edit, like you can almost see what I was trying to do. I tried to
Like
burn this
darken
down.
it. Yeah, but
You know,
it just
there's probably like some gradients and stuff on there. Yeah, look,
Yeah.
right there, just trying to tone it down. But then I just kind of realized in the end, like that wasn't cutting it. It needed to just go away.
yeah.
And honestly, I think the other part of that is
All those rocks.
there's nothing
take
down
away-
here that's really adding that much.
Yeah.
We're still, I think, getting that in. Yeah, we're still
Yeah, you
getting
have all the
plenty of that
water.
in.
You have a little bit of the motion of the water as
Yeah.
well. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
So yeah, the crop was the easiest move. Sometimes it's a simple thing instead of just going crazy, dodging and burning and editing. And then yeah, in the final edit, it was just pop the puffin a little bit more. I gave him a little bit of a highlight on the bill there too. You can see that kind of come across. And then again, just exaggerating that lighting coming in that way, you know? So that leaves us with our final image right there. Anything else you have that you want to add to it?
I don't think so.
All right, cool. Hey guys, I hope you all enjoyed this new series. We're going to try and do this weekly, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. If you have anything else to add to it, if you have any of your feedback, please let me know. And we'll see you on the next episode.